Buenos Aires is an amazing city. With a population of over 15 million people, there is always a lot going on at all hours of the day and night. There are lots of videos on YouTube about things to see and do here. This video is specifically about our favorite things to do in this city for slow travelers and digital nomads.
As slow travelers, we get to stay longer in cities and really get to know them. We get to find places that aren't on the usual tourist routes and revisit our favorite spots.
But we also have more daily living needs, like fast internet, to support our regular life. So here are our favorite things about Buenos Aires for slow travelers and digital nomads.
Our first favorite thing about Argentina in general is the no-cost 90-day tourist visa. As Canadian passport holders at the time we entered, we were able to visit the country for 3 months without having to pay for a visa or an e-visa.
Finding a place to stay in Buenos Aires was pretty easy too. There were tons of options in the Palermo neighborhood. There were lots of posts of people renting out their apartments online, and if you looked on the bigger booking platforms, they had dozens, if not hundreds of apartments available. We only booked our place a week before we landed, and it was easy for us to find an apartment with most of the things we were looking for. Except for a dishwasher. We rarely seem to find one of those. Our apartment comes with a reasonably comfortable desk to work at. Though for anybody watching this video who is looking to furnish an apartment rental, I'd really like to put in a plug for more comfortable office chairs. These little chairs are okay for a couple of hours, but they really start to hurt my back if I'm working out of them all day long.
Our internet speed here is quite good. I did confirm the speed before we booked the apartment, as it can vary in each place. But here we had no trouble conducting longer video conferences on Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or FaceTime, and our YouTube videos upload in just a couple of minutes. Buying a SIM card with good coverage is also easy. We bought a SIM card and 25 gigabytes of internet from Claro, which is a major provider here, for less than $10 for the month.
Once you're ready for a break from the internet and working inside your apartment, Buenos Aires is very walkable. It's full of parks and tree-lined streets. I really love the Japanese gardens, though unlike most of the parks in this city, which are free, you have to pay about $1.50 to get into this one. But it's so well maintained and perfectly manicured that it was worth the cost of entry for us to see it once. I find the drivers here to be pedestrian friendly. Now obviously you need to be careful anywhere you go, but I find that the cars here tend to slow down for pedestrians and the intersections are well controlled. There's also no left-hand turn on red here, which makes it a little easier to cross the street. The city is also really well connected with public transit, and taxis and Ubers are readily available too. The only issue with public transit is that you need a Sube card. You need one of these to get on any city train, bus, or subway. You can't use cash or credit, and they're in short supply, so they can take a little bit of effort to get. If you're directionally challenged like me, the streets here are also pretty easy to navigate. Buenos Aires is in a mostly grid-like pattern, and so I can figure out where I'm going without constantly having to look at Google Maps.
As a side note, like in many big cities, Buenos Aires has its pickpockets and people on motorbikes that will snatch your phone. So when we go out, we like to be aware of our surroundings, and we use an older phone to be safe.
Everywhere you walk, there are beautiful buildings to look at and places to eat. If you just want to pop down for a quick lunch while you're working, there are lots of options like empanadas, sandwiches, and casual restaurants. And if you want a more upscale dining experience, there are plenty of those too. We've seen restaurants specializing in food from all over South America, Asia, and Europe. We have found the food here to be a little bit more hit or miss than other places we've traveled. Like when we were in Peru, we felt like we couldn't get a bad meal there. Don't get me wrong, Buenos Aires has some great restaurants, but we've also had a few more misses than we've had in other places we've traveled. By Western world standards, Buenos Aires is also very affordable for day-to-day living. We bought our weekly groceries for $50 Canadian, and we could go out for nicer dinners and shows for a fraction of the price we might pay in Canada. We did an entire other video on the prices here in Buenos Aires, so be sure to check that out. But for this video, we'll just say that the prices here are very affordable for digital nomads and slow travelers making Western incomes.
Another thing I love about Buenos Aires, and if you've ever brushed your teeth with bottled water, you'll appreciate this, the water here is potable. You can wash your veggies with the tap water, put ice in your drinks, and yes, brush your teeth with water straight from the tap. We're actually still drinking bottled water because the city water has lots of minerals in it, but it's so nice to have potable water straight from the tap.
As I mentioned, we're staying in the Palermo neighborhood, and the expat community here can be quite active with people from many different countries. Slow travel can get pretty lonely. Here, there are meetups and activities happening seemingly every single day. You might even see posts like, "I'm bored, anyone want to go out for lunch?" with plenty of responses. Tonight, we're heading to our favorite kind of expat event, trivia night. When we arrived, we found about 100 English-speaking expats, all there on a Tuesday night, ready to answer trivia questions from 5 different categories. We ended up meeting lots of friendly people, and our team even won 3rd place.
The people in Buenos Aires are so friendly. You'll find outside of expat groups that there isn't a lot of English, and so it's good to know some Spanish when you come here. And if you want to learn Spanish when you're here, there are a lot of teachers available. Our teacher meets with us twice a week in a coffee shop, and our Spanish has definitely improved since we started classes with her. And she's been a great resource about life in Buenos Aires in general.
When we were looking for a tango show, she recommended one for us at the Palacio Paz. The Palacio Paz was the biggest and most elaborate home built in Buenos Aires. It was built about 100 years ago for the Paz family, with huge ballrooms for tango and balconies for the orchestra to play. Many of the styles were inspired from French palaces. The intricate wooden moldings in the dining room and hallway took 20 French artists 8 years to make. We visited on a Saturday evening and saw 2 amazing tango dancers perform for us. Their dance made it look like they were floating on air, and it was so beautiful to watch that I almost cried. Buenos Aires is a great spot for digital nomads and slow travelers. Lots of restaurants, fast internet, beautiful parks, and an active expat community have made it a great spot for us to spend some time.
And that's our video for today. We'll see you in the next one.